All right. Welcome to another one-shot review brought to you by the students of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm Mikey, and joining me today are Storm and Seamus and Caidan and 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 today I'm sorry. They show up in my room, and we're just gonna do it this way. We gotta keep pushing. But today we're gonna be talking about the latest Marvel movie that just came out, The Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao and starring a fuck ton of very well-known and famous actors. Yeah, thank you guys for Storm. Thanks for joining me. Fucking you two.
We walked here, so
swear on this podcast, please.
No, you mean what are you doing on the podcast? What are you talking about? Okay, anyway. What kind of fucking joke was that? Anyway, so all right, so we'll just get right to it. So obviously, first impressions of Storm, since you're not in my room, you can give what are your first impressions of the film going into it?
It was all right. I'd probably give it like high 70s.
Okay.
I don't think it deserved like what the Rotten Tomatoes had for it, but I don't think it was like a very good movie. It was very lackluster.
Okay. What were your thoughts going into it, like before watching the film? Like, do you have any thoughts about it?
I mean, I was going in that it was bad. So
okay.
So I mean, it at least impressed me a bit more. So.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, Seamus, while you're Caidan, while he's getting his fucking food, what were your first impressions of the movie going into it?
I probably enjoyed it a lot more than other people did.
Okay.
I didn't know much about them, but I thought they're just gonna do a cool movie about just whatever they couldn't do they wanted to do before, like all the past and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did it.
Okay. Cool. Seamus, fucking put your shit back in the microwave. Okay.
I didn't like the idea at first when they announced it because I thought it was just a little weird that you would go with Eternals out of everyone, because it doesn't really seem, even among comic book fans, it's not really that like popular or even that well known. And then when they started getting big budget actors, it was kind of like a little more interesting, but I still was like trepidatious because it's the Eternals and you can't really do that much with them. And so yeah, I was going into it expecting it to just be not that good because like didn't really seem like it was looking that all too hot. So
all right. I'll say for my impressions, I remember watching I don't remember how long it was. You remember fucking the Hall H?
Oh yeah.
Comic-Con? Like it was
years ago.
That was like years ago when they announced that this movie was happening, and they dropped the cast, and I saw the cast was incredible. The fact they got Angelina Jolie to do a Marvel movie, I was like, that's crazy. And Salma Hayek as well, and like a bunch of other people. So, but like it's kind of I kind of had low expectations for it. Just because like I just came out of having like Inhuman syndrome and I fucking hate the Inhumans.
Yep.
In that TV show that they dropped how many like years back?
Yeah, like 2018.
Yeah, like 2018. And it was I just, and also like what Seamus said, I read comics and I've never even thought, oh, I'm gonna read an Eternals comic.
Because they like never come up in anything.
They don't.
They're never really mentioned. They're never really like no one does anything with them anymore.
Exactly. Like so
that's why it made zero sense that they would do an Eternals movie.
Yeah, and it's just like I was like, okay, the Eternals. I don't care about any of them, but I'm gonna watch it because it's a Marvel movie. So, and then this movie came out, and we sure as hell watched it.
We showed up.
Yeah, we went there and we showed up. We gave them our money. And we'll go into it. But those are my thoughts about going. My first impressions. It was like, why is this movie happening? But like, I'm still curious to see how it's gonna turn out because I thought the cast was pretty impressive. So, yeah, that's basically it. So anyone else has anything to say? No one?
No, I'm good.
You good? Chilling? Storm?
I thought that they chose a cast for like such a forgettable group of heroes. So
yeah,
like it was a really good cast, but like they could have put those actors in much better roles. I don't know how
they got this cast with like the characters they used. Like
that's
I don't know
true.
How the hell they did it by like going up to like Angelina Jolie and being like, "You're gonna play Thena."
Well, I don't think she's that picky about who she's playing in a Marvel movie.
That's true.
But I would be. If I were Angelina Jolie, I would be picky.
Those are the type of roles where you give people who don't want anything, because all the people who love Marvel, you want to put in the big roles because they're the ones who are going to do it forever.
Yeah, but I we watched it. All right, so we'll just get into we'll do what we like, because like I mean that's we want to talk about the positives first. But so what we like.
It's gonna be very quick.
See, like I'm blanking now because I'm trying to remember what I like. But like I'll start off by saying that I liked the sense of like, even though it was knowing the Eternals, I thought it was gonna be a cosmic movie, which I think is what it should have been.
Yeah.
But like I did like the fact that like even though they were on Earth and they kind of, what was the scope like a couple like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I thought the sense of scope was really cool, especially because now we're kind of leading into like celestial territory and shit. That was dope. I thought the powers and the VFX looked incredible, especially with Makkari, who we're gonna talk about in a bit, who's the speedster. I thought that was really cool. The VFX, and I thought for what the actors did, the performances were good for the most part. There were definitely some characters that I loved, and there were characters I didn't, and we'll talk about those. Also, I haven't really like known much of Chloe Zhao's work. I know she did Nomadland, and that won an Oscar.
That one.
That won an Oscar. So and I know Kevin Feige was hyping her up a lot when this movie was coming out. So the fact that I thought this movie for the most part was pretty well shot.
Yeah,
I thought it was very well shot. And cinematography was on point, especially what they were doing with color. Even though this movie looked like it didn't really have color in the promotional material. Yeah. So that's what I like to start off. I don't know, Storm, do you want to say what you liked about the movie?
I really liked Gilgamesh's character a lot. I also liked how later on the like relationship between him and Thena.
Yeah. That was good stuff. It's okay. Take your time. It's hard. I understand.
He's grasping to find anything he likes about this movie. He's just
like you said, whoever I don't even remember the character's name. The like speedster character. I like their character.
Yeah. What's it called? It's okay, Storm. Take your time. It's fine.
But one of the things that they brought up with that character was like that they could like feel vibrations for like words. And then they like brought that up once and then never showed it again. Like I thought that was a cool thing to say, but then like it was just like a quick little thing in the beginning, and then they just like, yeah, no, we're just gonna make her do sign language for the rest, which is cool, but like then why introduce that?
That's true.
Just to explain that she could understand them. That was it.
Yeah, It was literally just like, oh,
we can talk and she understands.
It was more of an explanation why every character didn't have to do sign language constantly at her.
Yeah.
All right.
They probably didn't want to have to teach all the actors sign language.
What's it called? Alrighty. Well, Caidan, do you want to say something that you liked?
Yeah, sure.
About the movie? I'll talk to him so you get the mic.
I like the group dynamic of the group. Like they did all the history shots didn't add a lot to the plot, but it did add to their dynamics with each other. Like that was the whole purpose of all of them, and I really enjoyed that part. But like I do agree that some of the history shots like didn't add to the actual plot of the story, but I think I enjoyed them for adding what they did with the group of the Eternals.
Okay. What's it called? Seamus, you have anything to?
It's a short list. I thought the acting was solid for what they were given. Like no one was really like bad like acting wise. They all were like doing very good with it. I thought some of the special effects looked good and were interesting. Makkari was cool. Like it was just a cool speedster. Speedsters are always cool if they're done correctly, which she was. That's honestly about it. I like Kingo's manager. I thought I thought I was gonna hate him, and then as the movie like continued, I thought he was like actually one of the better characters.
Yeah, what's his name? Karan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I was like,
oh, he gives like a nice perspective to this movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that they had at least one actual human dude among these like people who are like tens of thousands of years old. And stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the best part of the movie was, even though he was in there for like 5 minutes, was Black Knight.
Yeah.
I really, Kit Harington did he stole every scene he was in. And I just ended up absolutely excited to see more Black Knight in the future. Because like before, I was like kind of memeing on Black Knight, and I was like, oh yeah, Black Knight, I'm excited. But like afterwards, now I'm like genuinely excited to see where he goes and what he does, and just to see like more of him.
Word. I'll also say this because this just popped up in my head. I do like the fact that they address that like the Eternals are basically like the reason why we like on Earth, why we have mythology and stuff in the first place, because they're the reasons why like the pyramids are a thing and all the other stuff. Like and they kind of addressed that in the movie where like Athena is essentially Athena, and Phastos is supposed to be like a Phastos in Greek mythology and stuff like that. Gilgamesh is Gilgamesh. Like and Ikaris was, and I like the fact that like that one scene where Sprite was like, oh, like how Sprite invented the legend of Ikaris while they were in Greece at the time. I thought that was great. I thought that was some cool details. And also thought like the set locations one, like I think they were in Mesopotamia, they were in Babylon.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like I like history nuts, so like I liked that type of stuff in there as well. But yeah, that's kind of what I have for what I liked. The Celestial Sit. I loved that. Which again, we wanted this movie to be cosmic, but it's on Earth. I liked how they use an explanation from the comics to explain why they're on Earth, and I thought it made sense. So like, you know what? Dope. Roll with it. Yeah. That's basically what I have. Storm, you have anything else to add or to say?
No.
Or any of y'all?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool.
I'm ready to get on.
Yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna just move on real quick to Seamus's favorite part of the podcast, which is what we didn't like. So I will say this just to start off. This movie, I think, is like 2 hours and 37 minutes long.
Yep.
This movie should have literally been an hour and a half. It shouldn't have been. There were times where, me and Seamus were watching this together. We were in the same theater, and we're just like, we just want like when is this gonna end? Like, cause there are parts that like, especially like during the middle and like especially like the middle part of the movie, it just dragged and it was just like nothing was going on.
There were just scenes that they just needed to wrap up quicker. Right?
Exactly.
Like, okay, let's move on because you're like it felt like they were writing more for a TV show than like a movie. Where like instead of like having like some rhythm with their story beats, they were just like, okay, now we're gonna be here and we're gonna stay here for like 20 minutes.
And it affected the pacing significantly. Like it was just like we were comparing it to Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi was very quick pacing, straight to the point, and it knew what it wanted to do immediately, and it kept us engaged.
They're in and out in like an hour and a half, and it was
great. It was just like, okay, here's little bits of action, some dialogue, some like backstory, and like just conversation, and it just like. And we realized we're only halfway through the movie. Like it's just like it was sometimes it just dragged and it was slow. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna say to open off with. Storm, since what did you not like about this movie?
Well, to add on to what you said, I feel like they added like unnecessary like flashbacks towards the end. Like you just didn't need to add them in. It would have made it flow a bit better. The whole concept, just it doesn't seem very interesting. Like, are we allowed to talk about like the end parts of the movie, or we can save that for later?
Yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah. By the way, if this is clearly a spoiler review,
yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, like,
no, I meant for the audience
that for later on.
Yeah, for the audience. I'm talking to the audience. If you didn't watch Eternals, don't watch this.
If you didn't watch Eternals, don't listen.
Yeah, I didn't watch Eternals.
Just
Well, actually, I should have said this earlier, but something with what Ikaris did at the end, it was like very reminiscent of like Omni-Man at the end of the Invincible.
Yeah,
like he couldn't.
Man is what it was.
Yeah, like he couldn't force himself to hurt the people that he cared about, so he flew off. But instead of just flying off, he just commits suicide.
Yeah.
But I doubt he did. I think they're gonna be like, "Oh, he flew to the sun and flew past it or something." You know what I mean? Like,
it's whatever.
Are you gonna be like printed again or whatever they were doing with those people?
I mean, aren't they like able to be brought back to life or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's gonna get like printed again or whatever they were doing. When they were like making the Eternals and then print them or whatever. I don't know. They set up that sequel at the end, and I was like, "No, thank you, I'm good." I don't want to hear in this goddamn movie. I don't need him.
What's it called? Oh, actually, Caidan, do you have anything you didn't like?
I'm going last because I have a lot.
I didn't like the deviants that much.
Those actually, they were some of the worst parts of the movie for me. Were the deviants.
They wanted to hold off on the twist of the Eternals. I mean, the Celestials destroying Earth, and they wanted to hold off on the twist of Ikaris being against them because of that.
Yeah.
And since they were holding on to both of those, they needed something at the beginning, and they just kind of used the deviants. But then it just kind of ends whenever you actually learn what's going on, and they just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
The deviants were kind of wasted. Like that's one of the biggest problems. The deviants were like, again, we're told the deviants are the villain of this movie. Okay, cool. Yeah. Show me more deviants. Let me learn more about the deviants. But then, yeah,
I saw stuff.
That's what I think. Captain Marvel does well. Like it's shown as like the Skrull or the bad guys. Then you learn at the end.
It felt like poorly written Captain Marvel. Where they like,
I think Captain Marvel did it a lot better.
Worse.
Yeah, I could agree.
Captain Marvel did it a lot better because they presented it in a better way than this movie did.
Yeah, the deviants were really wasted, and I
that weird transformed one was.
Yeah.
I saw stuff leading up to us watching it that were like hyping up the deviants, like, oh, I like them so much more than I thought I would, and I went into them like thinking that, and then I was like, they didn't do anything.
Yep. It's pretty much. What's it called? Okay, Seamus,
all right.
You go. Because I'm gonna kind of like back off of you because I'm like forgetting stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go on a list. They're not in any order chronologically or anything, or even like how much I hate them. I'm just listing off stuff that I can think of. I didn't like Ikaris's turn and how they turned him back in the matter of like I think it was 15 minutes. He went evil and then good again. It was way too quick, and it was not really that good. I didn't like how Kingo kind of just dips after the second act and doesn't come back. They just kind of I don't know if they forgot about him or that was it. Because he had one fight scene and then he's like, I don't agree with you guys ideologically. And you're like, well, why don't you agree with him ideologically? Because you're like, oh, I don't know if we should save the Earth or we should just let it happen. And you're like, dude, you're on Earth. You profit the most off of Earth because you're like a superstar who makes money off of like people seeing your movies. So wouldn't you have like the most to gain by saving Earth? And it makes no sense why he would just dip out and be like, I don't like Earth anymore. I couldn't name a single character trait of any of the characters. Like they had like I couldn't name you like what Sersi's like actual character is because she didn't really do much other than like have like a weird, awkward, forced relationship with Ikaris for 5 minutes and then they broke up for no reason. The sex scene was too short. It was too short. I needed a half hour. A half hour. No. But I do think that the sex scene was like it was very weird because it was like the introduction to their romance, and you just show them like they look at each other, they have sex, they're getting married, and then they broke up, and you're like, what? Why would I care about any of that? Because you didn't have any emotional weight to it. You just kind of showed me and expected to care, and that leads into my other thing where I felt like they always told us they're a family, but they never really showed us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They had like one dinner scene where they're all like joking with each other, but it didn't really feel like they were a family. It felt like they were like every other Marvel team where they're just joking with each other and like, oh. That's true. I felt like the Guardians were more of a family than these people were.
Like they kind of did show like there are characters that like are kind of connected to each other. Like we'll talk about like Druig and Makkari, and like they were independent, like Gilgamesh and Thena. But like they didn't really do a good job of like I can see that they didn't cohesively as a unit being like
it was just like okay these two are dating, these two are dating, these two are dating, these two might be dating, and that was really all they did. You know what I mean? And then everyone else each other, and it was like confusing. The Deviant sucked. The Deviant I don't even know the name of the guy who the Deviant.
I found out what his name was.
What is his name?
His name is Crow.
It had a name. Wait, it had a name.
Yeah, I looked it up on IMDb. The character's name is Crow, Kro.
It also sucks because he was played by Bill Skarsgård,
which is a waste.
And they had him say 5 lines, and then he got the fuck out of there. They had him like, and at the end, when he shows up at the end, and all he does is some like weird bondage shit to Thena, and then he gets cut in half, and you're like, so what was the point of him like in the movie at all? And it made it feel like they were like, they had 2 scripts, one where the Celestials were the villain and one where the demons were the villain, and they just meshed them together, and then we got like this weird like double villain type shit.
I don't really even know what he said in the cave.
Right?
Yeah,
I couldn't
didn't either.
understand.
Yeah.
It's
Understand
like,
what he said.
and then he dies. And you're like, all right, dude, why were you here? More Black Knight. I needed more Black Knight.
Yeah.
Purely because like this.
I
this
thought his character was very
isn't a meme.
wasted.
Like, it's not a joke. I wanted more Black Knight after I saw him in the first 10 minutes because I thought he was the most like, he was the best character. Like I can name his character because he was also understanding of Sersi, but he also wanted to like get to know her even better and have her trust him. But he also had secrets that he was like, okay, when you trust me, then I'll trust you. And it was I
good.
got that in 10 minutes, and it was the best character. And then everyone else in the Eternals is like has like a throwaway shitty character that you're like, Kingo jokes and Ikaris is
Yeah. Storm, you were saying something?
They wasted his character so much because we knew going in that he was going to be Black Knight, but then like they didn't really do the reveal until the very end.
Yeah.
Which
I think that's fine, but I think they put so much stake in Ikaris and Sersi's relationship that like why wouldn't you have the guy that she is currently with play into that at all? You know what I mean? It was just Ikaris and Sersi kind of looking at each other and being like, ooh, we used to date, and I don't know if we still like each other, but we might, but maybe we respect each other. And you're like, I think this would be, as much as I hate love triangles, I think it at least would have been more entertaining and would have provided more character development if you had Dane there the whole time following the Avengers the Eternals.
That's what I thought they were gonna do too.
I thought they were gonna do that.
Yeah.
But instead, you get Kingo's like manager dude. Instead, and I'm like, why don't you replace that character with Dane instead and have him follow the Eternals around?
Yeah.
But even though I liked that character, he was good. I just wish that character got, or those moments that he got were used with Dane instead.
You know what?
That's it. I think
you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off. You ran it beautifully, and I loved it.
I got my whole list out.
Yeah,
good.
But
I don't need to say anything else during this review.
We're probably gonna talk more when we do like the character stuff.
Yeah.
But those are basically the problems that I also had. Like kind of same with he kind of just said the words right out of my mouth basically. Yeah. Any more what we didn't like for move on to like just like character stuff?
No, I think Seamus got it.
Seamus got it, yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. So first batch characters. Okay, now the first 2 characters I kind of ranked this as like characters I didn't like first. So first 2 characters, Ikaris and Sersi, played by Gemma Chan and Richard Madden. I think it's like shout out to Gemma Chan because I completely forgot that she was in Captain Marvel.
Yep.
She played a Kree. She played one of the Kree in the StarForce. The blue looking Kree woman. I don't remember her name. But
the sniper?
What happened? The sniper, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she played her, and the fact that she got another Marvel role. I mean, listen, get the bag. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I thought her character was okay. Both of these characters, in my opinion, and I said this a lot with Seamus as well. Like they're every cliche in the fucking book. Especially Ikaris.
Yeah.
Because when the Ikaris turn, that was I literally was just like, please, like why? Like why do we have to see evil Superman again? Like we could have done. You could have just focused more on the deviants. That's what you should have been doing this entire fucking movie. Like you know. It's just like him turning evil is like, okay, fine, whatever. I've seen it before. The whole, and also again, like Sersi didn't really do much,
right?
I can't think of a notable moment, and especially like the only one I can think of was towards the end when she turned the Celestial that was being born in the stone. That's like the only thing I could like think of.
Well, and also it looked like at the end when they were like, oh, Sersi was the one that got chosen as a leader, and I was like, oh, she's gonna get like a moment where she leads them. Yeah. But instead she just kind of stares blankly at everyone and then walks away. And you're like, well, what the hell? I thought you were like holding her up to like get this cool, like, okay, I'm going to be like Captain America now and lead people and stuff. But instead she just kind of
they even set up a thing with Ikaris for like him saying that like, well, she was chosen, so she should make the decision. But then it never really happens. Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, I didn't really feel like she really got like an arc. Like I just couldn't think of like did her character really progress that much? Not really. Ikaris, same here. Ikaris was just he was like, oh, I'm evil now, and I'm gonna let fucking the Celestial be born and destroy Earth because fuck humanity. But then he realized, oh wait, me loving you realized how much I love humanity. So I'm not gonna be evil anymore, which has been done. It's been done over and over
It happened
again.
earlier this year, literally months before. They were like,
Yeah.
okay, Invincible dropped, and they did the same thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was just okay, whatever. But like, yeah, these two. I mean, shout out to both of them because like they did a good job with what they were given.
It's an insult that they were given this shit.
Yeah,
They're such great actors.
Yeah.
Really good
Like
actors.
they're great actors, and they were given like the most cliche, like just like bog standard characters you possibly could have picked, and it makes me feel so bad because I feel like if these people had like you got James Gunn writing this, these is what you have had two characters who were like so in depth and so like well done, but instead you just got like two like just like cliches and it's
whatever. But I also I did like her like somewhat like her chemistry with Dane. Oh, that was cool.
That's what I'm saying.
It was good.
And if you have Dane more in it makes her a better character.
Ikaris was just supposed to be the one that like didn't care about humanity at all.
Yeah,
and she was supposed to be the one that cared about humanity the most.
But like, it feels like they forgot about
you
that.
talking about her being chosen as leader. I didn't like take it as her as what's the leader's name? Ajak.
Ajak. Yeah.
I didn't take it as Ajak like choosing her to lead. I took it as her knowing that Sersi's the only one that would try to protect the humans. None of them cared really.
Yeah,
until
none of them.
She like, we need to save
Yeah,
we can't do this.
Well, the only one that did care, I guess technically did care was Phastos because he had a family, and that was it.
He seemed like he cared more than
then,
Sersi.
even then, he like didn't want to go to start.
Yeah, that's true.
It also made no sense.
And they're like, but your son is literally gonna die.
Guess who lives on Earth? Guess who lives on Earth, you idiot? Your son. So if you save Earth, you save your son.
And then he was on board, but like he wasn't on board before that, which was weird.
There's no sense.
I said Rebecca makes a good point. At this point, it would have been more revolutionary to make Ikaris just normal Superman.
That would have been the best twist ever. It was like, no, Ikaris is just like a good dude who's like just trying to do his best.
Also, Ace also said, how does Eternals rank among the rest of the movies? We're gonna get to that at the end because like that's a whole nother fucking thing. But yeah, so far these characters were just like pretty bland. It's a shame that these are great. Gemma Chan and Richard Madden are great actors. But it's just like what they were given just didn't
literally love them in everything else they're in. Like everything else they're in, I'm like, oh, these are such good actors. And I was hyped to see them in this. And then I saw it and I was like, oh.
I'll also say this again. What I did like was another thing I did like was how diverse the cast was, and I like how like we have an Asian female lead as the main character, and it was just like it's whatever. Dan
grinds my gears.
Says Druig Makkari the best. Yep, we're gonna get to that. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get to it. But any other thoughts on these two characters? No, I didn't think so because they were just. Oh God,
Sersi has potential in the future.
She does.
Like, they spent so much movie developing her relationship with others rather than herself.
Yeah, and I thought her powers were cool. Didn't she have like what was it, like matter manipulation, all that stuff? Yeah.
It was kind of weird that she was like just now understanding her powers.
Yeah, when she's been for like 5,000 years.
This iteration of her, I think it was 7,000 years.
Yeah,
it was 5,000 BC to 2000.
Yeah.
But like,
it's still like,
year 7,020, she's just now like understanding that she can do it to
organic matter. Yeah, it was just
even though that's like her sole job was to fight that organic matter the whole time, and that's her only power.
Yeah. I didn't think her turning into the bus into flowers was pretty cool. I was like,
her powers were really really
cool. They looked incredible. Yeah, but like, and we thought she killed every passenger in there, but turns out there was no one in there.
No, they showed like the passengers getting up out of the flower pot.
They showed the bus driver.
Yeah, it was the one bus driver.
Everyone else got dusted.
Yeah, everyone else got fucking. It was hilarious. But yeah, and also
speaking of dusted, their reasoning for not interfering with anything that was going on, I felt was like kind of stupid, because at least some things they could have like fixed.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It made no sense because like it would have made sense if every character was following the Celestials' orders throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But then they show Druig like breaking off back in like fucking like the Aztec era.
Yeah.
And you're like, so why didn't he join in? Because he already disagreed with the Celestials all the way back then. So he totally would have been there. But instead they're just like, no, he was with his cult and like whatever the hell. It was just weird.
Yeah.
But any other thoughts before we move on? We're gonna move on to the next set. All right, so the other set, Kingo and Sprite, played by Chad Kumail Nunjiani and Lia McHugh. No, it's a good jawline. It's a good jawline. But yeah, I'll talk about Sprite first. I could not stand this character. I couldn't stand her. The whole, oh my gosh, I look like a child. Why did the Celestials make me this way? I just want to like grow up and like love and all that stuff. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, who like.
Well, that's the thing is that they for some reason people like making characters that are like purposefully annoying.
Yeah.
To show like character growth, but the problem is that they're always annoying.
Yeah.
And you're like, so then don't just come up with a different character arc than like annoying character gets what they want, because it's just like I don't like this at all, and I don't want to root for them at all.
Yeah, it's just
especially at the end where she's like, I'm gonna go with Ikaris because I
love him. Yeah,
not because I agree with destroying the Earth, or I agree with going with the Celestials.
Just
because I love Ikaris.
Yeah, just because I'm a simp. Like
it
just
made no sense. Earth, then they're both gone, and then you can't love Ikaris.
Yeah,
you can only love Ikaris if Earth's still there.
Yeah,
but then they get reset.
I honestly couldn't tell if Sprite was a boy or a girl.
I hate that.
For like 90% of the movie.
I actually cared about these two less than Sersi and Ikaris. I hate these two way more.
I think I cared about them less because they were the same like quality of character as Sersi and Ikaris, but they were just like not as important to the plot.
They weren't as likable or important.
Yeah, that's true.
So like like all Kingo did was like he was just Kumail Nunjiani making like Kumail Nunjiani remarks every couple of minutes. And then he leaves. He like leaves the movie.
The other ones were kind of human, like with humans, but like he'd had a god complex the whole time, was like a celebrity himself. The other ones weren't doing that.
And then instead of saving Earth to like preserve his god complex, he was like, no, actually I think we should destroy Earth.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It was so weird. Especially just like he was like, oh god, I love and respect Ikaris, but like I'm gonna let the get destroyed, but I'm just not gonna help him do it.
He was the worst. Yeah, he was just the worst because he didn't even pick a side. He just kind of was like, I agree with Ikaris, but I don't want to fight anyone, so I'm just gonna go lay down and lay down. You're like, why? What do you do? Like, do something. And then I didn't even like how he didn't come back at all.
Yeah, like he literally
there wasn't
dipped
even
after
like
that.
there wasn't an epilogue with him. There wasn't like him coming back and being like, oh, I should have made a decision or something. I'm sorry, and then accepting him and showing that they're a family. Instead, he just not mentioned. They're just like, fuck it.
He just literally dipped, and we don't see him till the end until he's talking with Sprite about how like, oh, you're gonna be a human now. That's cool.
Right. And it's like all good apparently, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously that character is gonna have more to do with in the MCU going forward, especially with the sequel.
He was supposed to be in Guardians Volume 3. Not Kingo, but Kumail Nunjiani was.
Oh, gotcha.
Where James Gunn, I saw a tweet today where James Gunn was like, yeah, I originally wrote Kumail Nunjiani to just show up in like Guardians as like a side character who has a couple lines. And then Kevin Feige called and was like, hey, we're gonna use him in Eternals. So then so he was gonna have a cameo, I think. He would have done way better.
I'm gonna put Rebecca's comment. It says, all I'm gonna say is Sprite really wanted what the girl from Orphan had.
That's so
Orphan.
Have you never seen that movie?
No.
It's about this family that takes in an orphan girl, and then the orphan girl, looks like she's like 12, and she starts trying to seduce the dad, and then it turns out she's actually like this 40-year-old woman who just looks like she's 12, and she like tries to murder the family.
That's kind of.
I love that movie.
That's kind of wild.
That's why I hated that comment, because I was like, "That's so gross." I love it. Like that's a great reference, but like disgusting.
Yeah. But yeah, like Kingo, I don't know. It's just I did like the fact that his powers were cool, even though we barely even saw them.
It was just knockoff Star-Lord.
Yeah, he was just doing.
He just had the Star-Lord gun.
It was literally just finger guns.
Yes, all he could do is just finger guns.
There's nothing else.
Nope.
Well, he didn't come in, man.
Okay, but
once.
Yeah, he did
that once.
Which is a bigger bullet.
Yeah,
it was not coming. It was Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Word.
With his like spirit gun shit. That's what that was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was lame. I don't know. I don't really know what Kingo can do in the comics. I know he's like a samurai and shit though.
Yeah, they did change. They changed a lot of the Eternals from like their comic book.
Yeah. Sprite. I thought Sprite. Her powers are cool. I mean, it's illusions. So
it's just again knockoff Loki now.
Yeah.
It's illusions,
that's,
but like
that's what I thought. What they did with the end. It was just literally knockoff of what Loki would do. Literally, exactly what he would do.
I thought Loki as a show was better than this movie. Goddamn.
I mean, yeah. I agree.
Did you not like Loki that much?
I did. I said I thought it was way better than this movie.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, these two characters, yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's just they existed.
They showed up.
They showed up.
They
like,
got the bag. I can't blame.
Even though I honestly will say that like I put like Sprite on the echelon of like Ikaris because I just could not stand her. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stand her. Like oh god. Yeah, the whole I love Ikaris and I'm gonna do whatever.
Just a simp the whole movie. Yeah.
Weird,
yeah,
too.
be your own character. Like, stop
also,
it.
she looked 12, and it felt like one of those like anime dudes who's like, "Well, she's actually 7,000 years old." And you're like, "It's so weird."
Yeah, that's true.
Don't put it in the movie. I don't want it in my movie.
But yeah, Kumail. I mean, I wish we got more of him, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, did I really want to see more Kumail in this movie?
No, I wanted to see his character like get resolved instead of
Yeah.
just like skipping the third act and then being like, I guess I'm good now.
But overall, these characters are just
Mhm.
All right, so
All right.
now I'm done with.
Now we're getting on to the good.
Yeah, we're getting to the good goods.
Now I get to talk about how good.
All right, no more anything
Now
else.
with these-
I have one thing.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
said this before, but I literally couldn't tell if Sprite was a guy or a girl for most of
Oh.
the movie.
I mean, I think that's kind of intentional.
Yeah, that's the point. I think it's supposed to be like very ambiguous.
Very
because
like
it's
androgynous.
supposed to be kind of like a Shakespearean, like the fairies that they have in Shakespeare who are kind of like androgynous and a little like because I think like that's what they're going for.
Okay.
Like Puck and Berserk or Puck and the Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Like little fairies that are like,
Yeah.
had like fairy powers because
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, going off with like the whole myth thing of
Yeah.
like they're based off.
Yeah.
Both myths are based off of them. That makes sense.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, moving on to now the better characters.
Let's go.
Druig and Makkari, played by Barry Keoghan,
Keoghan, yeah.
and Lauren Ridloff. I'll say that I love when they announced it, like, oh, we casted a deaf actress for this role. I was like, okay, you better give her like a good amount of screen time, all that stuff. Like, because
They just gave her the coolest shit.
they gave her all the
Yeah.
coolest shit.
They're like, fuck it, yeah. She's gonna be like Quicksilver but better.
Dude, I literally we were watching this with Sarah. We were watching with Sarah, and I really like when she was that scene where she was finding where the Celestial was gonna like be born from, like the volcano.
Yeah.
I literally was looking at Sarah. I was like, "Yo, Quicksilver, who? Like
Quicksilver.
like I was just like, bro, like the VFX for that looked incredible. I literally was like blown away, especially when she was being shot at Ikaris. I was like, yo, let's go.
Oh, that was really cool. I love that.
And obviously,
Druig was like kind of super overpowered.
She was. No, Druig was
he was like Jean Grey level psychic, where he was just like getting at like thousands of people to do what he wanted, and you're like, why isn't this guy the fucking leader? Because he's like,
honestly, I mean, I thought Barry Keoghan did a good job, a really good job actually. He's one of like the highlights of the movie.
both of them are.
But the fact that how powerful he was, his ideology of that, like he was the first one to be like basically like, yeah, fuck what Arisham's doing. Let's just like actually like protect humanity.
Yeah,
that was really interesting.
And then everyone disagreed with him, and then thousands of years later, they're like, by the way, we agree with you now, and he's like, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, sure you do.
Great.
I thought, and also like obviously like I put these two together because their chemistry I thought was really well done, especially like obviously having Lauren Ridloff being deaf, like her conveying her emotions with like her face, and her expression about really well done, and it balanced really well with Barry.
It keeps going with the theme of this movie of like the best things in this movie are like so like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
it's like oh, their relationship's the best part, but you only really see it for like a couple of minutes. But like the couple of minutes they do get is like really good, and it makes me want to see more of them. Which was like it's like that's the thing about this movie. It's 2.5 hours long, but all the good stuff only adds up to like 20 minutes of actual screen time that are actually like entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the fights are a little like.
Yeah, word. Storm, do you have anything to say about
not really. I agree with Seamus that their relationship is really well done in the movie compared to like all the others that they try to do.
Yeah.
It's the best. And I really like I don't even know how to say her name. I'm just gonna say Lauren. I thought her character was really good, and I love the fight scene she was in.
Yeah, I want to see more of her.
They should have gave them the sex,
Yeah.
They should have given them. It would have been better.
What's it called? Caidan, do you have any thoughts on Druig and Makkari?
You guys said most of it, but like,
Gotcha.
I didn't like Druig at the beginning. I liked him a lot at the end.
That's why I thought.
Yeah, I thought he.
Best
Yeah, I
character.
thought he.
Like, you didn't like him at the beginning, and then you slowly find out more about his character, and his character slightly changes, and then by the end, you're like, oh, he's actually
Also,
very interesting.
With Makkari, you were talking about her effects. Like, I usually don't like speedster stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the other movies I've seen with speedsters, I hated how it looked.
Yeah.
But I thought hers was really cool.
Yeah.
The way it was used.
Yeah. I don't know, something about it. There was something about it that just looked fucking.
It's because they made it look fast.
It was actually impactful.
Yeah.
And it made it feel like if it had like weight and speed at the same time, whereas like every other speedster thing is either slow motion and you're like, oh, this is cool, but like they're just moving like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like the Flash, where it's like it's all speed but no weight. It
Or
just
they'll like go
floating.
hit someone and like they'll just kind of stop.
Yeah.
She would like actually like ram into
ran
cars and
through it,
stuff
yeah.
and like smash like. I don't know.
And plus, like the way
And you
like
saw it in real speed every time.
Yeah.
It never slowed it down.
yeah, and like especially because when you see it in real speed, like the environment kind of like warped around it. It was really cool. And I fucked with it. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I don't know if Storm has anything else to say.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, but these characters are great. I'm excited to see more of what they're gonna do. They're probably gonna show up in the sequel, 100%. Definitely. But yeah, good stuff. But okay, so next, obviously, other best couple, Thena and Gilgamesh, played by Angelina Jolie and Don Lee. I love Thena, dude. I thought Thena was cool. You know what, Thena?
I liked her, but I thought her character arc was like useless. Like it didn't go anywhere. She just had like weird, like she just went crazy every once in a while, and it never resolved, and it never led to anything. She was just like, yeah, I'm crazy sometimes, and that's it.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
they just mentioned like too much memory.
They're like the memories messed up,
but like they're made to live thousands of years on a planet,
right?
And hers was like 5,000 years in.
So, yeah,
I mean, they try to explain it in a way where it's like, oh, like I guess like during the memory process, something got fucked up. Yeah. And that's what like Mad Weary actually is.
It was just supposed to be like
and
a
then
hint towards them.
And then they didn't.
Human.
She barely talked in the movie too. Where like you're like you got Angelina Jolie and you just have her standing in the back not saying anything.
Yeah, Gilgamesh just talked for her most of the time.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I say I loved it in terms of like, even though we didn't really see much of it, but like action. I just miss Angelina Jolie as like an action star. I don't know, like because like I'm a huge fan of like Salt and like Tomb Raider, like her Tomb Raider.
Salt is like a deep cut. I don't know why you shouted that.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
You could have named like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Salt.
No, dude, I actually though I low key love Salt. But like so I just miss her doing action. So I was just like
Salt review now.
Yeah. I just miss her doing action. So I was like seeing her as like Thena and like obviously
all
the
her
background.
action scenes were sick as fuck.
They were
she
dope.
Has the spear and like the
field.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. She's like,
and she's like,
all the weapons.
and she's like fucking 49 years old, and she's fucking kicking ass still. Like I loved that. I was like, dude, like,
and like that's why I wish she just had like a bet, like her arc would like resolved or went somewhere instead of just like, oh, she just kind of goes like a little crazy sometimes, and then that's it.
One thing that bothered me was the fact that they didn't acknowledge that, like, oh yeah, Thena's also Thanos' sister. They didn't really. Well, like, yes, yes,
yeah.
Yeah, Thena is also Thanos' is also a sibling of Thanos.
Yeah.
And I thought like, oh, they're talking like Mad Weird. I'm like, oh, like.
But I think they're gonna do that in the sequel.
I was gonna be like, oh, like Mad Weird, oh, like sister, like brother, like come on, like Mad Titan.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I thought they were doing.
They're gonna do that in the sequel because they got StarFox, Harry Styles in there.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna show up and be like, oh yeah, you're one of our, you're like a brother, you're like a sister.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? They're just gonna and then Angelina Jolie is gonna be like a Thanos like sibling. They're gonna freak out.
Regarding this pair, though, I like this pair mainly because of Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh is great.
Yeah, Gilgamesh is my favorite character.
On Gilgamesh. She didn't really have anything by herself that wasn't with Gilgamesh and Gilgamesh explaining her.
Pissed me off they killed him like 40 minutes in the fucking movie.
Yeah, and then after that she doesn't because Gilgamesh isn't there to like run her story in.
Yeah. And it was like you had the guy who's one of the more interesting characters. Who's like all his fight scenes are sick because all he does is just stand there and do like he's one punch man.
Boom.
Where he just stands there and does like punches and then they're dead and they're gone and you're like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah.
But like then he dies for like because like Icarus wasn't there or something And then you're just like, oh, okay. I didn't think he was actually dead until they showed the funeral. And I'm like, oh wow, they actually fucking killed him this early.
And I got the impression that like fucking isn't Gilgamesh supposed to be like the god of like strength and shit? Is he supposed to be like stronger than Ikaris?
Yes.
And they killed him,
bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? That makes no sense.
He's literally, and he also has in the comics at least, he has this whole story where he doesn't know he's an Eternal until he finds out.
Okay, gotcha.
Because he's supposed to be this mystery guy, and then they like reveal that he's Gilgamesh of the Eternals, and then it's like, oh, that's, and I feel like that would have been interesting if they did that. If he was just a dude who like they found out was like, oh, you're also an Eternal.
Yeah. I do wish that like they could have just made Thena like stand on her own and then also have like a connection with Gilgamesh, not just have Gilgamesh have her character just be reliant on Gilgamesh the whole time. Because I don't know that
or her fucking character arc could have just been, all right, now how do I learn to like operate and live without Gilgamesh, because I've been with him for like thousands of years, and now I got to learn how to like handle this myself instead of having someone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And becoming more like independent with how she handles her episodes and stuff like that. And that would have been a really cool character arc. But instead she just again doesn't say anything, keeps having the episodes, and then the movie ends and you're like,
all of her episodes were stopped by Gilgamesh for the most part.
Right?
She didn't have one after Gilgamesh was done. Well, she kind of did.
She kind of did.
But then it just stopped.
Yeah, but then it just ended. Yeah. Like, oh no, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I thought this was a good pair, but yeah, I do agree with what you said, Seamus. So like she should have been able to stand on her own and have her own arc and also have the connection with Gilgamesh at the same time. I didn't think Don Lee. I thought he was pretty funny
he was good.
He was pretty funny.
Yeah, I really liked Gilgamesh, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
Like Seamus said, it's like One Punch Man. I originally thought like All Might, but yes, it's more One Punch Man, and I thought the like powers were great, but they shouldn't have like, if they were to kill him off, I don't think they should have done it as early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope he does come back somehow.
Because they can print like Eternals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I assume that they're gonna, because like the sequel, they're setting up going out to like fight the Celestials, or at least go get their friends back from the Celestials. So I assume they're gonna show up and like Gilgamesh is gonna be some like celestial like pawn that they're gonna have to beat until he remembers he's Gilgamesh, and then join them or something. You know what I mean? Like some dumb shit.
I think they could actually do something with like Thena to make him be his normal self.
Yeah,
probably.
I don't know. We'll see. I just
we'll talk about theories later.
Yeah, we'll talk about theories later. Yeah. But so far I liked these two, even though I wanted the whole thing with Thena's character I thought should have been, she should have been more independent, but I thought I just missed Angelina Jolie kicking ass, so like I loved every fight scene that she was in, even though it was pretty brief. But yeah, I don't know if any other thoughts on these two.
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
All right, so we'll move on to Phastos, played by Bryan Tyree-Henry, and Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington. You already went off about Kit Harington a while ago, so I probably don't think you have
him. He's from like my hometown. I gotta love him. Yeah. I love Dane.
But yeah, Phastos. We'll talk about Phastos. I love Phastos. Well, obviously knowing Bryan Tyree-Henry, and I'm a huge Atlanta fan. So like I knew that he was gonna come with the jokes, come with the humor. I liked. I thought he was funny. He was a lot funnier than Kumail.
Yeah.
I did like the dynamic he had, especially like later on. How I thought the whole like that he created the engine back in Babylon, and then like, oh no, they're not ready for that shit. Let's give them the fucking
give him a plow. He's like, what does it do?
Plows things.
Oh, yeah.
And then as well as the interaction in the present where we see Ikaris and Sersi meet up with him and his family, and him obviously establishing him as a gay man. That was great. I thought the whole thing with Oppenheimer, like the fact that like he blamed himself for the creation of the nuclear bomb.
That was like the most interesting part of the movie.
Yeah,
when you see that.
Yeah, I really like that.
Oh wow, they're actually doing something thoroughly intriguing and like meaningful to these characters, and then they just kind of move on from it. And you're like, I kind of wish I saw more.
Yeah, because like seeing him in like I don't remember if it was in Hiroshima or Nagasaki, but like it was just I thought it was very well done. Very you could definitely see Bram Henry's like showing his emotional chops. Yeah. I thought it was very well executed.
I thought that's the type of shit that this movie needed more of. Is like emotional really stuff, like
history parts, right?
Yeah.
Like Babylon.
Yeah.
Like, not like
And then like they have
Babylon,
and then they have and then they have like the Aztecs or whatever, and that's really it for like and then you have like the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that's really it for the history stuff.
The Aztecs like is Druig breaking away.
Right?
That was him breaking away, but like the other ones were just
they just kind of like they kind of like you're like, all right, bye, I'm gonna go off on that. You know what I mean? Like, all right.
Yeah, that was the best historical like impactful part of the movie. I think it was really good how that was part of his character development.
I thought that was. I mean, also like his powers are really cool. Like the fact that he could just make anything.
Yeah, that was like it was like the most unique and intriguing power I think out of all of them is the fact that he was just like a cool like builder mechanic. It reminded me a lot of Generator Rex.
Oh, word.
Where he's like building shit at the same time, and you're like, oh, this is really cool.
Because when they're explaining his powers, I was like, okay, so like how is this actually like practical? And then like
how is this gonna look in a fight? And then
we saw it used how we fought. Icarus. I was like, this is fucking sick,
right?
Like he's actually pretty.
Yeah,
powerful.
That was really cool. How he like made those things to like actually constrain him and everything.
Yeah, like dampen his powers. I was like, dude, this is
Yeah. Like, and he seen in like 2 seconds, and he was just like doing, and you're just like, this is he looks so cool right now. He's like, and
he's
I think
so much smarter than all of them, and his power is like so much more versatile than all of them.
Yeah,
and you don't know that till the very end.
Yeah,
and you're like, and I think it was like such an odd part of the movie because it felt so out of place that they had a character who was not only like unique and versatile, but like also interesting, and he somehow came out of the movie being like one of the more interesting and unique characters. And it felt like it was his character was like written and done by a completely different writer than whoever wrote the rest of the movie, because it felt more like a James Gunn character of like this weird side character that we're gonna make unique and show the full potential. Like, it felt like the Polka Dot Man of this movie.
I felt
we're like oh, it's a weird side character, unique and interesting now, and it was really really cool. And I think it's a testament to Bryan Tyree-Henry's acting that I didn't like his character or his motivations at first, but like just by the end of it, I was like, he's like one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Yeah. Even though I will say that his motivation towards the end, where he's like, I don't want to let I don't want to save you guys because I want to be with my family, but like, your family is going to die.
It's on, they're on Earth. They're going to die too. And that's why I was like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like this. And I don't like this character's motivations.
He didn't listen to when the Eternals tell him, even though they're like a family, but then his husband's like, if you think there's a chance our son might live at all, you should do it.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I thought all of you guys were family, but instead you're gonna listen to the guy you've known, like you've been in love with for like what, a couple of years,
since the bombing.
Is he? No, he's not that.
He's not old.
No, but like that's the first time you started interacting with like humans.
But that's what I'm saying.
Before that, he was just like in the temple the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying you're gonna listen to this guy who you've like known for like a couple of years versus your family who you've known for like 7,000.
Yeah. But I thought his character was pretty cool. I can't wait to see more of him going forward. Yeah, I thought it was a cool character. Yeah. I dug it. He's just cool.
Bryan Tyree-Henry is just so good.
He's an amazing actor. I love him. He's phenomenal. And also obviously like Dane Whitman.
Whitman's sick.
Also funny. A great character.
He was hot. He was putting in work. Like.
But I do agree though, like I wish like the Karn character was just replaced with Dane Whitman, just experiencing things, like being the audience and experiencing like all this fantastic.
And it would have been even more interesting if he like already knows about like, because like the after credits scene sets up him like learning about Black Knight and his lineage. I think it would have been funnier if like he is like has to act surprised by all this because like he already knows about Black Knight and he already knows his lineage and all this magical shit. So like when he's seeing stuff, he's like acting surprised, like whoa. Where in reality, he's like actually like, oh yeah,
I've seen this shit before,
right? And that was a cool like thing. And then at the end, he's like Sersi finally reveals her shit or whatever, where she's like, I'm an Eternal, and he's like, I'm kind of not surprised, you know what I mean? Like my family's a bunch of magical lunatics from the Crusades who got a magical blade that causes them to go insane. It's not really new to me.
Yeah, I wish we got more of him throughout the movie because we only really saw him from like the beginning and the end, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say about these two.
Yeah, like you guys said about Dane, I thought he could have been used a lot more than he was. Seamus's way of using him is a really good way to put him in, but because it's like they go in, you go into the movie knowing that he's a comic book character, and then like that knowledge is like kind of wasted until the credit scene, and it's like, why do we need to know that? unless they're just gonna show it at the very end.
But
do anything with it.
I did appreciate, even though like how it was portrayed, the fact that we got to know him as a person first before he becomes the Black Knight, like that.
Yeah,
that's something that's something we kind of need to know before he takes up the mantle, because it makes him more relatable that way. But yeah, I thought these characters are good. We'll move on to the last bit. Because these characters honestly are both kind of forgettable. So last characters, Ajak and Crow, played by Salma Hayek, surprisingly, and Bill Skarsgård, also surprisingly.
Surprisingly, two amazing actors yet again given nothing to do.
So Ajak,
I'm gonna skip this part. I'm going to the bathroom.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
He's got nothing to say. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'll take him off for a little bit, but I'll say that the fact that this is Salma Hayek in a Marvel movie.
They got Salma Hayek in a Marvel movie, and they gave her 2 lines and then killed her, and you're like, what the hell?
Are you guys aware that she was not going to be part of a movie?
No, I thought she was going to be
the leader, like the whole
I thought
time.
she was going to be the leader the whole time, and then
I thought she was going to be like the main
or
character.
like she gives it up at the end and then passes it on to like Sersi. You know what I mean? Like And then she's like dead almost immediately, and only in flashbacks where she says a couple of lines, and then like
that upset me. That like genuinely upset me. I was like, wow, like because they made it seem like she was there the whole time.
The good thing is though, I read an interview today where she did say she's like signed on to multiple movies.
Obviously she's gonna come back.
So like I'll probably be able to talk more about this character when she actually does stuff in the sequel.
Yeah, she didn't really like. I mean, granted, she showed up in the the flashbacks, and again, what?
There's like nothing between her and Sersi. Like at
nothing.
All. It was her and Ikaris is like 70% of what we saw of her was her with Ikaris.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like nothing really happened. I mean, granted, she was the only one that could talk to Arishem directly. That was, I guess, interesting. And obviously, like, she was the only one that was aware of what the actual plan was. She's always been aware. That was a cool angle to go off of.
Right. And then they kill her off so early in service of the shitty Ikaris plot. Yeah. You don't really get to see that cool interaction where she has the internal struggle without telling anyone.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do?
I would love to see a scene where like she's like, oh yeah, no, this is what we actually are here for, and then like, and I just didn't tell you for like 7,000 years that like we're supposed to be destroying this planet to birth the Celestial, and we're gonna die ourselves.
We're just building up this planet so that way the Celestial has enough like basically baby food, so that way it can like actually live.
Yeah.
Why would you keep that a secret? Because then they're all gonna start liking humans. If you tell them all the humans are going to die.
That's what I was saying. If you tell
they
them
are never going to try to protect the human,
right?
Yeah.
Because they don't care. It's a job to them.
That's
like
true.
You make them like your life is going to be humans for 7,000 years.
You know why I think they did that? Because I think they wanted them to help them along. You know what I mean? Because if they did that,
to help them along.
Yeah, that's
true. But what I'm saying is that I think I understand that it's more. I guess it would be more effective to do that, because if you tell them, oh, these guys are dying anyway, don't care, they're not really going to care about them. They're going to help them, but they're not going to like have them grow to a point where like maybe they'll be like, you know, advanced enough that it turns into actual like nourishment for the Celestial. Where instead they're just like, oh yeah, thousands of humans died, I don't care, they're going to die anyway. You know what I mean? Rather than, oh wait, we got to save them, and then those people birth more people that provides more food.
It was. Yeah, but like
it's confusing. It's confusing bullshit that I don't know why they made it's an easy plot that they made so convoluted.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
This should have been a goddamn TV show, so that way they have like 6 episodes to do all this stuff that would be more cohesive if it had the time to breathe.
And obviously just like I'll be talking about. I guess his name is Crow. You know, we didn't even know his fucking name the whole time.
We didn't know his goddamn name. I didn't know his name. Yeah. They never really said his name. He doesn't really say much.
Yeah, he doesn't say much.
I don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, when he does say stuff, I don't understand a word he says.
And like the fact this is fucking
Bill
Skarsgård, dude. What the fuck? Like it's just wow.
It's like getting Andy Serkis to voice like one of the fucking like veggies and Veggie Tales for like 5 seconds. And you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and it's funny because like literally like there was like because they were focusing on the Ikaris turn plot for a while in the third act, that when this guy comes out of nowhere to fucking beat the shit out of to like fight them all at the end, I was like,
I forgot about him.
Yeah, I forgot about him. I was like, where the hell were you the entire time? Like it was he was a very forgettable character, and obviously like his motivation makes sense because the whole with the deviants and how they were treated and all that stuff. That was, I guess, interesting, but like he just wasn't utilized well enough. And like if, as I said, you should have not done the Ikaris turn and just focused on the deviants as the villains. That would have had a much better turnout. But yeah, I mean, Salma Hayek. I mean, listen, it's Salma Hayek, bro. I literally was looking at this. It was like the first thing I saw her in that costume, I was like, Salma Hayek. But but like, I mean, she didn't really do much. But probably if she's gonna be signed on for multiple movies, then like I'm curious what they're gonna do with
I think it's more insane that I'm thinking about this now. Like they did that Ikaris turn so quickly, right?
Yeah.
But they said they like tease a sequel at the end. So if you know you're getting a sequel, why not like at least spread the shit out instead of like it just makes you know what I mean? Like if they're teasing a sequel, if they're teasing StarFox and all the shit at the end, then you already know you have the room to like make this shit at least a little bit more like not have Ikaris immediately turn back and commit suicide at the end.
Yeah.
Give him another movie where he's like full on evil for the full movie, and then if you get another movie after that, then have him kill himself in that one or whatever. You know?
That's true. But yeah, for these two characters, I mean, they're not in like the vein of like Sprite and Kingo like exist actively. They positively exist. Yeah. Like they're just there, and I appreciate. And obviously Salma Hayek did a good job of what she was given.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because I bet they're gonna go the route where Ajax is gonna be the new one, and it's gonna be like them having to like teach Ajax how to be an Eternal and what that means, and it's gonna be like, you know what I mean, and then Sersi's gonna be the one who like, you know, and I hope that's what they do, and I hope that leads to Sersi getting more like development as like a leader, you know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But you know, they could still shit the bed again.
But I don't know. Anyone have any other thoughts on Ajax and Crow? I guess
not much.
Crow had better character development than Ikaris.
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. Crow had 2 lines and you couldn't hear him.
Like why did
I mean, he evolved to like at least think. So like the other one was just I feel like it was just a straight bland.
Yeah. I could kind of see where you're coming from, but for me, no. Crow like didn't really like Ikaris at least did stuff. Crow didn't do anything.
Ikaris was played by Richard Madden, which is already a plus. You know what I mean?
So I don't know. And
Ikaris had laser eyes.
And what were we talking about? Her Ajax turn? Like
why'd she decide to protect humans? I don't even remember that.
She just kind of was like.
She was just like, they're great. I love them. They're
she
very.
Said something about the snap delayed at 5 years, and then she started to like them in those 5 years.
Yeah.
And then that they have 7 days left.
Yeah.
Now we have 7 days left.
But yeah, just to close it off, we'll see what fuck Crow. You were wasted. Unfortunately. Ajax. We'll see what happens in the future. I mean, it's Salma Hayek. I'll watch anything with Salma Hayek in it. Okay, so obviously this is the part that Alec hates, and he's not here. So theories. So obviously the first one we're gonna talk about basically is the ending of Eternals, where we basically witness Arishem the Judge take, I believe it was Sersi, Kingo. It was Sersi, Kingo, and Phastos.
Those were 3 on Earth still.
Yeah, and Phastos. And because they killed a Celestial, so they got to be judged. So I don't really know where this is gonna fucking go.
What do you say? He's gonna look through their memories and judge their decision.
Yeah. Which should take like all of 5 seconds. You know what I mean? He's a so, like, they don't have any time to go save them. Like, what is it? Are they gonna like be like saved by bureaucracy and the Celestials, where they have to like sign these forms to go through the memories and shit? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, because you probably know more about Arishem than me. Do they have ties to the fucking Living Tribunal?
Yeah, he's the Celestial. They all kind of do. You know what I mean? Where they all are.
Maybe we might
ties to the Living Tribunal, and then that ties to the one above all, and then that, you know what I mean.
Maybe we could see the Living Tribunal.
Yeah.
That would kind of make me.
I think there's a rumor that I think it's either High Evolutionary or Living Tribunal that's going to show up in Guardians Volume 3. So
okay,
we could see him.
That'd be really cool. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, like,
there's literally no like rumors about the sequel or anything yet.
Yeah.
Where that could go. So I'm just basing it off of like the basics, which is gonna be like, I think it's gonna be probably just like another cosmic movie, which we're finally getting with Druig and Makkari and STARFOX going to save them. And I would hope they add Black Knight to that. You know what I mean? Get him on there, do that shit rather than like. Well, I mean, okay, so where he's going is arguably more interesting than anything this movie had ever tried to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna be, I think, just like they're gonna do some Guardians of the Galaxy like knockoff stuff where it's just like, oh, we're in space, all these crazy people.
Yeah, I literally have nothing to go off of.
Right?
This.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
maybe
have,
the Living Tribunal. Maybe Thane. Maybe we see Thane, but he's an Inhuman, so you can't really do that. I mean, he can, but they don't want to.
Yeah.
They could just make him a mutant and say, fuck it.
They could.
You know what? By the time the sequel comes out, we're getting mutants. So, like, might as well make him a mutant. I don't care anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, but, like, honestly, like, I just, like, okay, more Celestial shit. Well, that's basically it with
that's
this.
Really
I don't really know anything else to say about it. They're going to throw in more
Celestial stuff. Maybe we're getting Living Tribunal. Maybe we're getting all that crazy cosmic stuff, like One Above All and shit like that.
Yeah.
Mephisto. I'm just saying.
Mephisto.
I'm just saying that every theory in the past year has to just have something to do with Mephisto for some reason, even though he's not even that big of a character.
Yeah.
Even in like the hell of the Marvel universe,
he isn't. Yeah.
He's like a minor He's like a dude who gets like wet. You fight him in Ultimate Alliance, and he's like boss battles like 2 seconds, and you just thwack him, and he goes away. And you're like,
yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden, everyone's like Mephisto.
But I have So again, I have nothing. I don't know if Storm.
I don't know how Multiverse of Madness is gonna affect this, or like Loki's like gang timeline shit's gonna affect this. Because I assume they're not even gonna mention any of this shit.
There wasn't enough in this ending to make me think anything's gonna happen,
right?
Or anything's gonna tie with it. Because like. There's nothing else like it yet.
Right?
And we don't know what to think.
But I'm saying the only other two things that I could think would be like it were the end of Loki, where Kang is like, the timelines are all going to fucking do whatever.
But then even then, I can't find a bridge between that and this.
That's what I'm saying. It's like even though those two movies are going to be on the same level of this cosmically, like where it explains more stuff about cosmic and like multiverse stuff, this still feels like so far removed from that you can't even like connect those two or have theories that are like, oh, maybe Multiverse of Madness does this or whatever. It just feels like it's so like its own thing.
I feel like they had,
not in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like they had the ending be like, you wanted something cool? Let's have a fucking Celestial come on Earth out of nowhere and just yank.
That was the coolest part, where he just goes boom, and then it's like this
Galactus type shit.
And I was like, oh my god, if they make Galactus look like this, that was literally the only hype. As I was like, oh my god, Galactus might look like this. And then that's it.
But I have nothing.
It was the first time Earth smelled. The first time Earth felt tiny.
Right?
Yeah. Like time was the center of everything, and then this was like he's the size of his eye. The Earth is fucking.
This dude could just do that, which is why I'm saying I would hope like maybe we see Galactus in the sequel. You know what I mean? Just to show him, or like even just say like he's out there in the universe, and then do it later. Because then it would be, because you're already dealing with these like major cosmic entities that are so large and grandiose that it wouldn't make sense to not mention Galactus or have him, play any part in the sequel when they're dealing with all those characters.
It's funny because like my dumbass was like when I saw like purple just appear on the sky. I was
you were like,
Galactus.
He's here. That would have been, oh my god, if that was the twist at the end and Galactus just shows up and they're staring up at him, I would have just been like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
It was Arishem, and I'm like, I like Arishem, but he doesn't really matter in the comics at all, like really that much.
Yeah.
But like if it was Galactus at the end and he just goes boom and he's just standing there, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? What's going on? Like, where is this going? And would have been way more hype.
Listen, this ending was kind of weak, and that's all I gotta say about it.
It was because it was like half. Let's wrap things up quickly. Half. Let's beta sequel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of like these characters you don't really care about, so you're just like, okay, whatever.
But yeah, obviously, I don't think anyone else has any more thoughts on this.
No, I love Arishem. He's my boy, but he does nothing.
So we're just gonna move on. But yeah, obviously, we got those rumors that were leaked. What was like last month or some shit?
They were leaked so early.
Harry Styles is actually in this movie, and the mid-credit scene involves him actually playing fucking Eros, aka StarFox. And then this is my ass was like, they're actually putting a sexual deviant in the movie.
Yeah, they're putting a sex scene in this goddamn movie, but not like the good kind of.
They can.
Yeah.
After the sex scene, they're like, "Oh, that means we could have sex offenders in the movie too."
I'll say this just to start off. I mean, Harry Styles looks like Eros, and I think that's cool.
Yeah,
like he looks like the character.
I mean, I don't know. They're gonna do his powers are really just like they're kind of just like Druig's, where he just like has the power of like.
Well, he also does. He can fly and has super strength. And all
it's
that
just
stuff.
Druig and Ikaris just.
Basically,
you know what I mean? And you're like, okay, whatever.
But basically that scene for like that scene where like it's actually with Pip, who's played by Patton Oswalt, and I love Patton Oswalt.
I like Pip. I got hyped when they shout out Pip the Troll. I was like,
Pip,
someone I don't care about, but like cool to see him.
Yeah, Pip going up to Thena, Druig, and Makkari, and basically like, hey, like we can go find the ones that were taken by Arishem, as well as find all the other Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's basically it. I mean,
like I don't like Harry Styles, but like in a couple of seconds here, he kind of nailed being StarFox, where he's just like, yeah, he's a cocky dick, which is what StarFox is. You know what I mean? Like he's supposed to be a prick. So you're like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? And I thought it was interesting. Like they would choose him and Pip the Troll, which I was like, oh, that's cool. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. I find it more outrageous that like. We got Pip the Troll before the Fantastic Four or X-Men. Like that, that's just mind-boggling. Like, if you were to go back like in 2005 and be like, oh, they're making movies about Marvel characters, and we got Pip the Troll, but we don't have Fantastic Four yet, they would be like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Just be like, what are we doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Storm, do you have anything to say on this mid-credit scene?
I just hope they go in depth and like explaining how he's Thanos' brother. That's all I really want to find out.
You want another sex scene between Thanos' parents?
Maybe.
That's what you're asking for?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because he's like synthetically made technically, and then it's Thanos who can actually like looks like an alien and doesn't.
Well, in the comics, Thanos is like.
Well, Thanos' parents are normal. Like they look like normal people.
Yeah, Thanos was like a mutant.
Yeah, but he has a thing called deviant syndrome where he just looks like a deviant even though he's not one.
Yeah.
So is he? So does he have like? So is he part Eternal and part Deviant?
He is an Eternal.
He's an Eternal.
He's not. He's a full-blooded Eternal, but like he just has Deviant syndrome, so he just looks like a Deviant.
He's like part Deviant, part Eternal.
Oh, okay.
So.
Because Jim Starlin fucking loves putting his shit in characters. He loves getting his music.
But yeah, I'm also curious to be like, hey, like explain like how Thena is a sibling. They even mentioned.
I think they will. They will as like a passing, like pop the crowd, get everyone like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But from
they could do the sexual assault storyline.
They could. No,
like they're in She-Hulk, and She-Hulk is literally like the only other major character in that storyline. So like, she just beats the shit out.
I'm just gonna say I'm expecting more awkward sex scenes because Eros is in the picture now.
Oh my God.
But I mean, he looked great. I don't think he had the symbol. Did he have the symbol?
He didn't have the symbol. I don't think so.
Oh, that's
he just
booty.
has like the
He needed the fox symbol.
The fox symbol.
Because it looks ridiculous. I don't know. Caidan, do you have anything to say on
StarFox?
I don't
have much to say about StarFox. I don't know much about him.
I mean, fair enough.
Again, like all the other Eternals, he's not really important to the comics as a whole.
Yeah.
No clue where they're going with them. Nothing. I have no clue.
I mean, it's Harry Styles, and all of the girls in the fucking theater were freaking the fuck out. I'm like, calm your ass
awesome Harry Styles is in there.
Yeah, it's awesome that he's in the movie. Like going from One Direction to an MCU film.
Well,
like
Dunkirk.
And Dunkirk, yeah, of course. But just like, yeah, get your bag, bro. I understand.
Dude, yeah. I'm more hyped to talk about the other after credits.
Of course,
yeah. Same.
Give a shit.
Yeah, but
StarFox,
he's there. And the setup for what the plan is for the next movie, that's cool. Like, I'm digging it.
Again, I think it's just like an area of the cosmic MCU that I'm not going to care about until like 3 movies in, and then they're finally going to start doing stuff that I think affects the actual universe. You know what I mean?
Of course.
A lot of this is setup, and I think even the next movie is going to be a lot of setup. I'm just going to be like bored out of my skull.
But all right, so I guess there's nothing else. So we're going on the last theory. Yes. I got to build suspense for this because it's just too good. So basically. What happens in this scene? So we get fucking Dane looking in this fucking big ass long chest. It opens up with the ebony fucking blade. All right, and it looks cool. It looks spooky.
It's got the Latin and stuff, and then when he goes to touch it, it looks like them because it's got like the curse on it.
Yeah.
It looks sick as fuck.
And then obviously he's enamored. I got this fucking sword. Let's go. And then we just hear a voice being like, "You sure you're ready for that?" And here's my thing. This motherfucker kept hyping me up, being like, "Yo, you're gonna love this shit? Is gonna freak the fuck out? You're gonna be the only one that's gonna realize this in the fucking theater." And I'm like, "Okay, bet." I hear that voice. I thought it was fucking Jeffrey Wright because I just couldn't hear it well, because we're in a fucking low ass quality theater. But then he told me who it was, and then the moment he said the name, I fucking flipped. And the person that he was revealed to be in this bitch who was talking to Black Knight was fucking Blade. I was done.
I knew who it was once he started talking.
I think it's for me.
I didn't recognize the voice.
Well, that makes sense.
I recognize the voice, and I haven't seen that in like so long.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah.
Is he gonna have a TV show or a movie?
No, he's having a movie.
Okay.
As he damn well deserves it.
He's getting 7, hopefully.
But yeah, fucking Blade, played by Big Hirsch, Mahershala Ali, Oscar-winning actor. Mahershala Big Hirsch Ali. I obviously, if you saw it, for people who are subscribed, if you saw the MCU podcast, you know how much I'm fucking excited to see Blade in the MCU. The fact that like it hurts that we didn't see him, but like the fact that like he's gonna have a thing with Black Knight, I hope.
That's cool. Like that's sick. That's like they don't. That's not even a thing in the comics, but it's not. It's a dope ass pairing.
Yeah, but it's super. But like, so like the Ebony Blade is supernatural, so like it makes sense why Blade would know about it.
It's not like it's like out of line, you know what I mean? Like making an Eternals movie, but like, it makes sense.
Yeah, but like I'm just well, obviously if you can see here on the left the photo, it's this like concept art by Ralph Grassetti, who does the God of War games.
Yeah.
He did his own concept of
that looks like something that'd be in God of War.
Yeah.
I
hope that's what it looks
he did
like.
his own concept. I found it and it looks so sick. This is another just fan art of Mahershala's Blade. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this is gonna go down. I would love a fucking Blade Black Knight team up. I would love that shit.
Buddy cop movie.
Yeah, buddy cop
with the sword together.
Put them all together in one group. Just give them like
some badass sword movie.
I kind of went off of the rails. I kind of went off the rails a little bit because like I know for a fact. Cause I mean, I hope they're gonna do the Midnight Suns. I would love to have Black Knight on the Midnight Suns. That would be pretty cool. Moon Knight,
Blade,
Black
Knight, Chucky and Doctor Strange.
Maybe Doctor Strange. I know they're planning on doing Man Thing.
Man Thing.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Who's that's again?
I don't know.
It's gonna be like the Eternals all over again. You're like, why Man? What the fuck? There's like, why not do Ghost Rider right? Why not do, you know what I mean? We're gonna do Man Thing.
I don't know, but but I'm curious to see like if I would love. I don't know if he's gonna show up in the next Blade movie. I don't know because
I think he will because that was like
they're gonna start filming Blade next year in the summer. So maybe we could see Black Knight in there.
Where else would Black Knight show up?
I don't know.
It only set him up with Blade.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You set him up with Blade and then he starts showing up in other movies. Yeah,
so like they're basically going.
I would love that, and he shows up in Blade and in other movies.
Yeah, but like
Spider-Man: Far From Home, he just shows up and you're like, it's Black Knight. No reason why. He's just there. I'm just thinking. So like this post-credit scene is gonna be like, okay, they're gonna have Black Knight be more in terms of like the supernatural realm of cast of characters. I think is actually a really good fit. So I'm excited. I don't know, Storm. What are your thoughts on this post-credit?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, I think Kit Harington is gonna be really good as Black Knight because it's obviously a sword and he's used to it because of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And how is his like costume in the comics?
It literally looks like it's like a crusader, but it's just like black. You know what I mean?
I had a photo of one of like the King in Black cover tie-in.
That's like different. They did a redesign.
They change the costume all the time, but like they
gave him a series.
But I hope it looks somewhat similar to this, or maybe somewhat like the newer iteration of the character. I like that costume a lot.
It's hard to.
I think what a cool idea would be like if it's something like Thor, where like when he starts to like use the sword, like the armor and stuff, like starts to form onto him.
Yeah, but that's how it
you
works.
want like some berserk shit, like when Guts has like the wolf armor and then they hit it and then
like how Thor when like he summons Mjolnir and then like his Asgard armor starts to like form on him.
Because in the comics, that's how fucking Musa.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, that's how it actually works. The armor actually forms around him with the sword. And like I did some research for Black Knight.
I didn't have to.
Yeah, you're a fan, but like basically like the sword can cut through anything.
Yeah.
His armor is basically impenetrable. Like
the only downside is that the more blood he spills, the more insane he gets. Which is why that's what they explain. Because when Black Knight first shows up in the comics in like the '60s, he's a villain, and then like when Dane Whitman shows up, they explain that the villain Black Knight was his uncle who like went insane because he had used the sword so much that it caused him to become like a crazy like murder lunatic.
Yeah.
And then Dane is like, "Oh, I will carry your blade, but I will not be the same." And then there's storylines where he becomes the same, and they got stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see. But I would love to see him like appear in just fucking movies. I would like to see him show up. Obviously, hopefully, he's gonna show up in Blade. I would love to see him fight some vampires.
He's definitely showing up in Blade.
Yeah.
Sick as fuck.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go into like Blade theories just because like
Blade theories. Who gives
okay, fine.
Morpheus is showing up.
No.
This is like. I'm saying go into theories because this was like the hypest we got in the theater.
That's true.
The entire movie.
That's true. I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
and as long as the theories include Black Knight, it's still about the Eternals.
Yeah, but like I do hope that he shows up in Blade though. That'll be like either a cameo or maybe they fight some vampires, something like that. I don't know.
I hope we get to see Kit Harington and Wesley Snipes on screen together.
Dude, that'd be fucking hilarious.
That'd be like the weirdest pairing ever, but I feel like it'd be so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. What if wait? Because I know for a fact that only the owner of the Ebony Blade can like wield it.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking sick that they swap swords.
Oh,
you just get fucking
fucking the Ebony Blade, and then he would go insane almost immediately because all of his fights is him spilling blood. So
yeah.
It would be he would go crazy almost immediately.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but I would like to see. I think Black Knight would work with the Midnight Suns. That'd be cool.
That'd be a good addition.
That'd be a cool addition. I don't know. Maybe they might. I bet they're gonna incorporate it in the comics. They're going to.
Yeah.
Like a new. Like,
I want Black Knight Far From Home. I want Black Knight and Multiverse of Madness. I want Black Knight and fuck it, Quantum Mania. I want him in his own show. Put him in Loki season 2. Put him in fucking Hawkeye. I don't give a shit. Put Kit Harington in everything.
Okay, here's a question though, because I from the first time I ever knew about Black Knight, he had a fucking Pegasus. Do you think we're gonna get the Pegasus too?
We're getting the fucking Pegasus.
Okay, gotcha.
There's no way we're not getting the goddamn. He's not gonna ride in on a goddamn Pegasus in one fight. Everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit!" Because Valkyrie got her Pegasus.
That's true.
Why can't Black Knight?
Yeah, I don't even know how. How did she get a Pegasus? It seemed like in the flashbacks that they were all killed, and then she just shows up with one.
Have Thor gift Black Knight a fucking Pegasus, and then you got Black Knight's fucking Pegasus, and then we're chilling.
I don't know. Well,
Kit Harington on a goddamn Pegasus with like a black sword riding around fighting with Blade. That sounds like that's a license to print money.
Exactly, and also like hopefully we're gonna see Blade in more films like as teased until his actual film comes out. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to see that costume. I just want to see that costume.
Have him show up in Multiverse of Madness, and then be like, you motherfuckers fucked up again, didn't you? And he's the one who's like, Doctor Strange is like, I can fix it, and Blade's like, you're an idiot, bro. You know that? Like you're dumb. And Blade's like the one who like actually knows how to fix it. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick as fuck. But yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, as a Blade fan, I'm excited, and obviously, like as a new Black Knight fan, I guess I'm gonna see.
Converted.
How we're gonna?
He's from Gloucester, Massachusetts. You know.
What's called Blade kills Doc Ock in nowhere. I would die.
Yes!
I would die.
Blade shows up from behind like Green Goblin. He stabs him.
He just then he just looks at the camera. Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. I would die. But yeah, I don't know if Storm King have anything else to say before we like give our verdict. All right, cool. No. But Blade Black Knight, let's fucking get it. I'm down.
Give me one Blade.
All right, so last thing obviously is our final thoughts and our verdict. So what would you guys, because I know who had that comment? I think it was Ace Fool had that comment. Said, what would we rate the movie? Like how would we scale it
among the other ones? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to do it that way. Like we'll give our scores out of 10, we'll say. So like, how out of 10, how would you rate the Eternals? I would start off by saying I'm going to give this like a 6.5, maybe like a 7 at most.
I would not. That's too high.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's just there was a lot of things I did like that I thought worked, but then there's a bunch of stuff that did not work. So I that's what I got like though. And it was mostly character stuff and like the writing, some of the writing and the pacing. That was like the big issue for me. Why I'm talking down like I'll say 6.5. But like, yeah, that's what I'd give it. I don't know. But Storm, what would you give it?
Probably give it a 7, and that's being generous with everything that. Yeah. With with all the shit it really screwed up on, it could have been a lot better. Even like even some things like what Captain Marvel did was a lot better, like the showing that, oh, these are the bad guys, when actually no, our good guys are actually the ones who are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I think they could have done that and many more things. So being very generous, a 7.
Okay. Now, Caidan first.
I probably enjoyed the movie more than all three of you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's like higher than a 7. Like, there's a lot of technical stuff wrong with it that I felt like I could overlook more than you guys could overlook.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, it's a middle of the road movie.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like a bad MCU movie.
I thought it was
think
very
it was,
average.
Like, good.
Yeah, I thought it was very average. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But Seamus.
Yeah, that's why I would give it like maybe 4.5 or a 5, because it's like 5 for me is well 5 for you guys. For you. Yeah, 5 for me is like middle of the road. I don't love it or hate it. Whereas for some reason everyone else started thinking 5 is like, that's terrible. But for me, 5 is like 5 is like right in the middle, and sometimes it would border on 4, where I'm like, I would like this movie to end right now.
My 7's because like I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
There was stuff to enjoy about it.
There is definite technical faults with it.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's why I said it's a 5, because half the time I was like, half the time I was sitting there bored, and then the other half of the time I was sitting there actively not liking it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And also for me, there were parts that I got bored with. There were parts where I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty incredible. And there were parts where I'm like, it's okay.
I'm saying the parts that I thought those were good were like very far between and not enough for me to like actually care about the movie consistently for a good period of time.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'd give it. I don't know, like, how would y'all rank this in terms of like from the rest of the movies?
It's down there.
It's
yeah.
Is it? I'd say it's better than Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, it's better than Thor: The Dark World, but it's still down. It's still in like bottom 3 for me.
Yeah, like it's.
I think Captain Marvel outranks it.
I would say maybe on the same level.
Yeah, I think Captain Marvel also does outrank it for me. I don't know.
I would say
I did not like that movie.
I would say maybe it's better than Thor: The Dark World. It's I think for me it's as good as Captain Marvel or as good as like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
I'd say it's on that level. Like, I didn't really well, Ant-Man and the Wasp I actually didn't mind. Like I liked it. I had fun with it at least. But like this one I just was like I think it was on the same level as Captain Marvel, where I just was like, I don't really care. It's a little confusing. It's not really it's not as slick as some of the other ones where it like knew where it wanted to go.
I would kind of switch it because like I think maybe it might be for me personally because Captain Marvel was a very forgettable movie.
That's what I'm saying.
For me, and I've watched that movie multiple times. I've always forget what happens.
I can't tell you the plot. Yeah.
So like, for me, there was some stuff in here that like I could actually like remember. So like, I'd put maybe people a little bit over Captain Marvel, but it's at like the same. It's like at the same level Captain Marvel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Storm, what about you? What would you say?
I mean, it's similar to you, but I would put Captain Marvel a bit above it because it just did some things that Eternals, like Captain Marvel did things that Eternals did, but better.
Yeah.
Like it tried, like it's, like I said, it's thing of trying to do the switch of who the villain actually is. Captain Marvel did that much better than the Eternals did.
That's true. Hold on, with freaking Musa again. It's like Crow the Deviants, such a red herring. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There were some pretty shots in the movie. We said that was what we liked. The movie is incredible. Is really well shot.
But like, just because it's like okay, it's a pretty shot, but like, I'm sitting here for 2.5 hours. I'm also wanting to get like a good story out of it.
That's
you know what I mean.
Caidan, what would you rate this amongst like all the other Marvel movies? Like, how would you
now? I mean, it's still low middle, but like it's ranked up a little bit because it does stuff that none of the other movies do.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it did try to be
but
different.
Like, I feel like as more movies come out, more movies do stuff like this, my thoughts of it will lower and lower. But as of right now, it's unique enough that you could rewatch it. Like, there's Captain Marvel does stuff other movies already do, but not as good.
Yeah.
So like, I don't feel to rewatch it much. But like, I feel like this did enough on its own that I could watch it again.
Yeah.
Like from time to time to get that, because no other movie's going to give me that, but better.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I guess that's. I mean, movies. I'd give it. If you want to spend money to watch it, go ahead.
If you're on the fence, I would say wait. Because like, unless you're like really like, I'm excited for this movie, go see it. But if you're like, I don't know how I'll feel about it, wait till it's at least out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, or if you want to watch a better Marvel movie, you can just watch Shang-Chi.
Just go. It's going to be an IMAX. If they're getting the IMAX ratio for Shang-Chi this Friday, go watch that instead.
Yeah. But I will say this:
we're gonna watch.
We're gonna watch it. But like, I will say this: it is, for all its faults, it is very well casted, very very diverse cast. I will say this: very well diverse cast.
That's why I didn't.
Very well
People
shot.
were like, "Oh, they're giving it bad reviews because it's a diverse cast," and I'm like, "Shang-Chi got like great reviews."
That's true.
It was like, maybe you guys just need to write a better movie next time.
But great cast, and there are some stuff in there that does work, and there's stuff I did like, and this stuff I just I didn't miss the mark. But yeah, that's what I would say. So, any other thoughts before we just close it out? Nah, gotcha.
No.
All right, so outro time. So obviously, thanks for the people that are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it. Three people. We got a good amount of people coming out.
Nice rotation.
Yeah. Obviously, thank you two fucks for barging into my room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did say you could. And Storm as well. I appreciate it. It was a fun conversation. So obviously comment, like, subscribe, look out for, we got a fuck ton of videos to put out before in this month alone. So like, because we got Hawkeye to do, we got fucking 2 panels to do that. I think it'll be really fun. It'll be really fun discussions.
Oh yeah.
And I think another review after that as well. But yeah, that's just be on the lookout for that. Fucking Musa, just hype shit as always. Appreciate that, fam. But I'll put chapters in this video so I can flip through, just make it easier. And we'll catch y'all later. So, all right, get on safe, people. Bye bye.